In this session, first we'll see about the status bar. Now let us go with status bar. The status bar is given just below the command prompt. This is known as the status bar, where we have the options like snap, grid, ortho, polar, O-snap, O-track, dynamic input, line weight and model. So all these options are given in status bar. And one more, at the beginning of the status bar we have here the coordinates, and this coordinates is going to read the coordinate values when we are moving the cursor on the screen. So wherever the cursor is standing, at that particular point it will give you the coordinate values. Now you can read here, when I am moving the cursor on the screen, the values are continuously changing. So this is called the coordinates, and these coordinates will give you the x and y values where the cursor is standing. So even you can call it as the coordinates reader. So this is about the status bar. And next we'll go with scroll bars. So here we have the scroll bars. This is called the horizontal scroll bar. Similarly, we have one more called vertical scroll bar. So this is the vertical scroll bar. So altogether we have here two types of scroll bars, horizontal and vertical scroll bars. So this is about the introduction of the window. And after completing this, now next we'll see how to start the figure creation in AutoCAD. So whenever you want to draw a figure in AutoCAD, first thing we have to set the units. Depending upon the dimensions of the drawing, here we are going to choose the type of unit. And to go with the units, you can go with either the format menu, and in the format menu you can choose here the units, or you can go with the command prompt, and here in the command prompt you can type that command. And in AutoCAD almost all the commands are going to have the shortcuts. Similarly, for the units also we have the shortcut, that is UN. So go with UN and go with enter. So when you go with UN enter, it will give you the drawing units dialog box. So this is the drawing units dialog box, and in this dialog box we are going to choose the type of unit. Mainly we are going to discuss here about the four types of units, and out of those four, two are related with metric and two are related with imperial. Imperial means the values will be in feet and inches. So first we'll see about metric. When the dimensions are in metric, then we can choose either decimal or fractional. And I will tell you the difference between these two. If the dimension value is like 100.33 or 20.94, then you can go with the type as decimal, because the values are using a decimal point, and after decimal points they are going to use the number of digits. Instead of that, the same values are given like 100, 1 by 4 or 20, 3 by 4, then you can choose fractional. So if the values are in fraction, you can go with fractional. If the values are using the decimal, then you can go with the decimal type. So these are the two types related with metric. Then coming to imperial, we have engineering and architectural. And again here, if the feet and inches are using the decimal point, then you can go with engineering, and if they use the fractions, you can think of the architectural. Now I will give you an example for both. First let us go with engineering. If you go with engineering, then the value should be like 30 feet 3.98 inch or 12 feet 4.33 inch. So if they are using decimal points in inches, then you can go with engineering. Instead of that, if the values are like 20 feet 3 1 by 4 inch, 30 feet 2 1 by 8 inch, then you can choose the type as architectural. So this is how, based on the dimension values, we are going to choose here any one of these four types. Now first let us go with decimal, because I want the values in metric. So I am selecting the type as decimal. And after selecting the type, the second step is we have to decide the precision. and this precision is nothing but the accuracy of the value. So depending upon how accurate you want to use the dimension value, here we are going to choose the precision. For example, if I want only 2 digits after decimal point, then I can take here the precision as 0.00. Instead of this, if I want 4 digits after decimal point, 4 digits means still accurate value we are going to have. So if you want more accurate value, then you can increase the precision here. You can take 0.0000. So like this, based on the requirement, we have to choose here the precision. And this is related to the decimal. Similarly, if I am going with fractional, the precision values will be like this: 0 or 0 1 by 2, 0 1 by 4, 0 1 by 8. Like this, we are going to have the precision in case of fraction. Similarly, if I go with engineering, then the precision values will be like this: 0 feet 0 inch, 0 feet 0.0 inch, or 0 feet 0.00 inch. Like this we are going to have the values. And the last one is architectural. If I go with architectural, you can have the precision 0 feet 0 inch, or 0 feet 0 1 by 2 inch, or 0 feet 0 1 by 4 inch. So this is about the architectural. Now let us go with the decimal, and let me select the precision as 0.00. And after selecting the type and precision, next we have to select about the insertion scale. And if we are using metric, then you can select here the insertion scale units as millimeters or centimeters or meters or kilometers. According to the requirement, here we can choose these insertion scale units. So because I am going to decimal, and as I am going to use the values in mm, let me select here the insertion scale units also as mm. Now instead of decimal, if I use engineering or architectural, then the insertion scale I should go with inches or feet. Now because I am going to decimal, let us go with mm. Select here mm, and no need to set the angle, because in general we are going to use the angle in terms of degrees. So you can accept this decimal degrees as it is, just you can go with OK. So with this, the units has been set. And after setting the units, the second step is we have to set the limits. And to set the limits, we can go with a command called limits itself. And how to set the limits and what is the purpose of setting the limits, all these things we'll see in the next session.